Hi everyone, this is Jay from ChainSafe Gaming. If you're unfamiliar with ChainSafe, we're a research and development firm focused on blockchain protocol research. We've helped transition Ethereum from proof of work to proof of stake, help write the code behind Avalanche C Chain, and the Filecoin virtual machine. We're back with another stream today where we'll be talking with Crypto Clash and talking about their experience with HackFS, hackathons, and Web3 game development. So with that said, I want to bring Shri to the stage so he can introduce himself and Crypto Clash.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me, Jay. I'm excited to talk to you guys about Crypto Clash and my experience with ChainSafe, also just hackathons in general and Web3.
Awesome, man. Thanks for joining us. It's been a great experience working with you from the hackathon to just kind of continuing our conversations in the chats. So thanks for joining us. I appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So first, I've seen that you're doing tons of different development from Web3 development to traditional web development. So I'm curious, how did you get started with Web3 game development?
Yeah, so it's actually honestly a long story. I think it started around seventh grade. Our teacher asked us to write like a research paper kind of thing and present it. So I picked Bitcoin. I didn't know anything about it at the time, but that's when I first got into what blockchain was, and I was like, "Wow, there's something cool going on here." And I think right after that, maybe 2 months later, there was COVID-19. So we had online school, everyone was home. And during this time, we started playing games. Everyone was playing video games during classes. And I wanted to make my own games. And then from there, I learned how to make games. I started a YouTube channel teaching people how to make games. But then it was really just a lot of Web 2 development for a couple of years. And then recently, this was at HackFest, the hackathon. We came together and we were like, you know what, let's make a game. And I had the perfect two skill sets to come together, and it was really fun. And that's how I got into Web3 game development.
Nice. That's awesome to hear. It's pretty crazy because in seventh grade, I wasn't paying attention to anything like Bitcoin, any finance applications or anything like that. I was just kind of hanging out with friends. So it's kind of mind blowing that you started in seventh grade. How'd you hear about Bitcoin?
Yeah, so honestly, it was just like I didn't know anything about it either at the time, but I saw it on the news and I thought it would be something really, really cool to, do something super futuristic kind of for the project. I didn't want to do anything super normal, I guess. So I chose Bitcoin, and it turned out to be something super interesting.
Definitely a great path to choose. You're way ahead of the game, as I mentioned to you last time we spoke. So now you've gone into Web3 game development. How do you feel about Web3 game development versus traditional game development, and why Web3 over traditional if you're deciding to go that path?
Yeah, so the main difference to me in Web3 is the incentivization you can do with tokenization, NFTs, and just that's the main benefit to me. There's other benefits like transparent ledger and all, but I don't really see those being used in games that much. But I think the tokenization and NFTs is a great fit for Web3 gaming, because realize now you can have things like skins, weapons. They can be tradable NFTs in the game and not just things you just keep or buy in the store in normal Web 2 development. I have an example from something that's not gaming. For example, if you ever heard of Akash Network, they reward people for renting their GPUs with crypto. And the only reason they're able to do that is because of blockchain technology. They're able to tokenize this market, and they make it available for anyone to buy, sell this token. So that's something that can happen with Web3 gaming, and that's what makes it super unique.
That's interesting. So it sounds like, from your perspective, it's great at monetizing different things and getting people to kind of maybe buy these assets, trade them. It makes them a lot more liquid. I'm curious, have you gone into that kind of space of it? Have you sold any NFTs for a game or any other platforms?
Not for games, but I have messed around a little bit, but I definitely think it's an interesting topic, and I actually explored it inside of my game, which I'll show you guys later at Crypto Clash. I kind of made some tradable NFTs for weapons and skins.
Nice. That's definitely going to be exciting to actually see, live gameplay. So looking forward to that in a minute. Now, you have a lot of experience learning clearly since seventh grade. I mean, you're in, I believe, 11th right now, right?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, and you're constantly launching different dApps, different games, which is amazing. So, what advice do you have for others who are trying to get into Web3 development? They want to learn what are some tools, resources? What do you think they should be looking into?
Yeah, so I think the best way to learn anything is just to build projects, and that's also the most fun way. So going to things like hackathons, just being in the discords of like ChainSafe, ETH Global, just being present at these communities and making projects and meeting people will be the best way to do it. You shouldn't be scared that it's like Web3 and there's a lot of fancy terms being thrown around, but at the essence, it's just building projects and getting involved, spending the necessary time needed to learn something.
Yeah, I definitely agree with being present in all these places because you don't even realize these hackathons are going on or these competitions unless you're directly in those discords, in those communities, talking to people who are doing this kind of thing.
Exactly. It's like building a boat when you've never seen water.
Nice, nice. So now, for developers looking for new opportunities, we kind of briefly touched on this. Is there somewhere you go to for like hackathons like HackFS? Because I've seen you in tons of different ones. I think I've seen you in dev posts and people tagging you, like asking about your development and stuff like that. So where do you usually find these events?
Well, there's a lot of them on ETH Global. You can search it up. It's ETH and then Global with a capital G. They host a hackathon almost every other week with crazy prizes. That's a great place to look. Another place, like I said, is just to be involved in these discords and look out for announcements. So I would be in, for example, the ETH Global Discord, ChainSafe Discord, any really builder community of Web3, they would have good opportunities. And yeah, just be involved in the space and you'll find opportunities everywhere. This is a new space. And I mean, there's just opportunities everywhere.
So I definitely think these servers are the place to find these opportunities. But then, how did you find out about like ETH Global? How did you find out about ChainSafe?
Yeah, so I found about ETH Global because I joined the UT Blockchain Hackathon team and they were doing a lot of ETH Global hackathons. But again, that's just being in the areas where people are building things. You'll find out about what the next hackathon is, where to be. So, out for that, the best way is just to be in Discord, meet people, and go to the in person events. Just say hi and yeah, share your projects online.
And for anyone who's not familiar, UT, is that a local like tech group or what exactly is UT?
So, UT is the University of Texas. So, a few years ago, I started the blockchain club at my high school, and we emailed the University of Texas asking if we could come to their meetings, and they actually said yes. So we started going to their meetings and meeting all the University of Texas college students. It was a really good opportunity, but this is where I was able to, meet more people that are building projects and learned about opportunities.
Yeah, so there's definitely tons of local organizations all around the world. I'm part of like, I don't know, 50 different meetups for different cities. Some cities I don't even live in because they have like online things. So I definitely think that it's a great opportunity. Join some sort of local club. You'll find out more about these discords and join the discords and be more active.
For sure.
So now there were tons of different prizes being given away at HackFest. For anyone who wasn't familiar with HackFest, there were like I think $220,000 worth of prizes from like Filecoin, Monaverse, a ton of different protocols. So I was curious, what made you decide to use ChainSafe's SDK?
Yeah. So, like I said, at the start, we knew we wanted to make a Web3 game. And if you just look through the options, there's not a lot of good SDKs out there for Web3 gaming, in my opinion. But luckily, ChainSafe was on the list of prizes, and it just made an obvious sense because they help with making a game. We're making a Web3 game, It had marketplaces and loot boxes, and that's perfectly fits in our narrative, our game. So just as a general tip for anyone doing hackathons, you want to make sure you have a theme, a narrative, and that's exactly why we went with ChainSafe because they fit in our narrative.
And I'm curious, did you, because you used Monaverse, and I thought your application of Monaverse and our SDK was really awesome. Did you think about using Monaverse first, and then kind of you were like, hey, I need to maybe use another SDK, or was it ChainSafe's SDK and then you applied Monaverse in?
So we were looking at both at the very start, but when it came down to the implementation, we worked on Mona first, and then we got ChainSafe later. But yeah, we were looking at both.
Nice, nice. So now we've spoken a bunch about your experience within Web3 development, how people can learn about Web3 development, what are different tools, resources, groups, how you can find out about hackathons. But we've kind of been dancing around what your actual application was and how you won the HackaFest prize. So for anyone not familiar, HackaFest was a hackathon that spanned over 2 weeks. Different teams were given the objective of integrating our SDK and using either loot boxes, marketplaces, or extending our SDK. And Crypto Clash was the winner of HackFS. So I would love it if we can show a demo of the game and your marketplace integration.
Yeah, sure. I'll just screen share.
Okay, that
So,
works.
so this is the game. It's called Crypto Clash. But first, before me and Jay, we can play like a multiplayer game, I'll show you guys what the marketplace looks like. So this is the marketplace demo. You can log in with MetaMask, as you can see. I'll just log in. I'll make sure I'm on Sepolia. All right, I'm on Sepolia. And then you can see there's many different options. For example, there's a marketplace. So this is the marketplace I was referring to with throughout the stream. You can buy different skins and weapons. And inside of your inventory, you can select these skins and weapons. So you'll notice if I select something that I don't own, like this, it says you must own this NFT to equip it. And this is the really cool thing about NFTs. I can make it so that people can trade or send to their friends certain NFTs. So let's go to the marketplace and let's buy a new weapon. Let's buy, I really like this one, Ethereal Edge. So if I hit purchase, you'll notice MetaMask pulls up. I can hit confirm.
I think that portion of it might have been off screen, but I did see the indication on the MetaMask. It like popped up like a 1.
Oh, okay. Apologies. Yeah, so basically MetaMask just popped up here and I just clicked purchase. And then in OpenSea in a few, maybe OpenSea usually takes a few minutes, but it will show up here that I own that skin.
Oh yeah, I've minted a bunch of different testnet NFTs also, and yeah, it usually takes a minute or two for it to register.
Okay. Yeah, so we can skip this, but you can see I've already bought these two skins, Watermelon Whacker and Poopy Plunger. So inside of the game, you'll see that I'll be able to equip this skin and save it. And which means that now inside of a game, I can actually use this weapon, which is really cool. So that was the marketplace demo. You can basically buy skins, and soon I want to add things like sending it to your friends in game and also be able to trade them. But now,
Yes.
Sorry.
No, you can continue showing us.
Yeah. So now, if Jay, do you want to play the multiplayer game with me? We can hop on a game.
Let's see. I'll try to hop on.
So in this version, I actually made it so that all skins are available just for the demonstration purposes. So I'll select some cool skins.
So am I joining a game?
Yeah. You can set your skins first if you want. I'll click start new. Oops, right here. Okay, so inside of the join game, you should see a new, yeah, you're in.
Yeah, I just saw the test pop up. Cool, cool.
Great, I started it. Cool, cool. So do you see me? You see me? You
Yeah,
can
so I
run
see you,
around.
but I had myself muted because I wasn't sure about the sound and like the game coming on. But yeah, I see you here. You're like a Santa guy. I don't know what I look like, but
Yeah, I think you're just on the default skin because you didn't update it. So you can see how I can run around, I can jump, and I can also punch. So, and you can also see the health bar on the bottom left. So I'll
okay,
just
yeah.
try to kill you real quick.
No, I died.
And I won. So, yep, that was the demo of my game, Crypto Clash.
Nice, nice. That's pretty cool, man. You integrated so many different things from like multiplayer networking to the marketplace and also Monaverse. I think it'd be cool to touch on that for people who aren't familiar with Monaverse. Like, what'd you do there?
Yeah, sure. So, Monaverse is a different gaming SDK, and they make it so that NFTs of like physical worlds can be imported into your game. So on their website, you can buy NFTs of like different worlds that people create. And in my game, anyone can import an NFT that they own on Monaverse, and they can actually fight inside of that world. So if Monaverse has a cool world like, I don't know, the Colosseum, it can be imported into my game and they can play it, which is really cool.
So that's what I love too. We've been talking about like cross-compatible NFTs, but we haven't seen a lot of good implementations. And here, like we just saw a demo of the game, and we were on a pirate ship. But you could own a completely different world and bring that into the game from an NFT you own from a completely different game.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's been awesome, and awesome job integrating the marketplace. It's was with our like newest release. It was brand new, so people were testing it out while you were implementing it. Can you tell us what was your experience with implementing the SDK? What was that process like? Did you run into any problems, and how were they overcome?
Yeah. So, like Jay said, at the start, they were testing it when it released. And that unfortunately was at the same time as the hackathon. So, I'll be honest, at the very start, it was a little bit confusing and difficult since the documentation was changing and they were still testing it. But a few days later, it was easy to use, seamless. And I'll give you guys a really great tip, which is to actually join the ChainSafe server. On Mondays, they have these office hours where they help solve any issues, and they're always just in there solving bugs and whatnot. So you can always ask for questions. So as soon as the documentation came out, it was really seamless to use. And since they're always improving it, it's going to get easier since they're going to add more prefabs and example scenes. So it'll be simple as drag and drop. So on my end, after the first rough hiccup, it was as seamless as it gets, smooth to add.
Thanks for that. And yeah, as we're releasing new versions of the SDK, there's a lot of different tools that are works in progress. And when you're doing product research, it's kind of hard to figure out like how much of this do you develop, and maybe you're developing it in a particular way, whereas a developer wants to see it implemented in another way. So a lot of your feedback helped us kind of finalize what the marketplace looks like, all those calls. So I definitely appreciate you tinkering it with it, and also like helping us, with our docs and making sure that everything's easy to understand.
Yeah, for sure. I understand how the new product launches go. So no worries.
All right. And so what's next for you? How can the audience stay up to date with the projects that you're working on and learn more about Street?
Yeah, so well, I'm gonna definitely continue building in both Web3, Web2, blockchain, AI, video games, all that, everything. So I guess you can follow me on Twitter. It's just my name, Shrey Bermerwall. You can also follow me on GitHub where I post my projects. It's also just my name, Shrey Bermerwall. Uh, So, but yeah, you can just, I would recommend joining a lot of these communities. That's the biggest advice I could give because you're going to meet a lot of cool people and you'll probably find me in many of these communities too. So, yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, you'll definitely see him everywhere. I've literally seen you everywhere on Twitter, on these different Discords, from the ETH Global Hours and like a few others. So it's definitely great to join these communities to get involved, find potential partners, right? Because I know a ton of people
Yeah,
have met within Discord and have become teammates, and some of them go on to do several projects together. So
definitely. Yeah.
join the community. All right. Well, I want to thank you for coming on and for sharing Crypto Clash. As you mentioned, we'll be working on prefabs, on sample scenes with the marketplace in particular. On our next one, we'll have a sample scene where you can just kind of double click on it, connect it to your own marketplace contract, and you're pretty much done from there. So you built a lot of this from scratch, but we're working on it so that others won't have to do all that trouble.
Nice. Yeah, definitely good. Go check out ChainSafe. They're going to be very, very useful and they're going to be a very, very big player in the upcoming, very, very big Web3 gaming space. So, yeah. And thank you very much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thanks. I'll keep you up to date when that sample scene's available. Have you test it out, give us some feedback, see what you think.
Sure. Of course.
All right. Thank you. Thanks for everyone who joined us on this stream today. We're going to wrap this up and stay tuned for the next one. Thank you. I hope everyone has a great day.
Bye. Thank you.